but be conscious.
Look in the front, see who's the doctor. Look in the back, see who's the lawyer. Look in the back, see who's the banker. Look at the business, who's the owner. Look at the staff, see who's the worker. Look at the truck, see who's the dan man. Look who eating out of them garbage can. Look in the jail, see who you see too. A lot of little black boy just like you. Little black boy, go to school and learn. Little black boy, show some concern. Little black boy, education is the key to get you off the street and off poverty. Little black boy, go to school and learn. Little black boy, you have to show some concern. Little black boy, think about your race.
Little black boy,
when would you find your place? Why, yeah, 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 why, yeah, yeah.
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Little black boy, take a look at yourself.
Little black boy,
take a look at yourself.
Little black boy,
put your guns on the shelf.
Little black boy,
watch what you do.
Little black boy,
take a good look at you.
Little black boy,
look at other people too.
Little black boy,
is that the way you should be?
Little black boy,
don't put drugs in your vein.
Little black boy,
it would drive you.
On Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays, at 10 a.m., and exclusively, on I-95.5 FM.
And streamed live, on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page, and YouTube channel.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to Dependency right here on I-95.5 FM, live on the Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel. Good morning, Natasha.
Good morning, Gus. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and a special welcome to those of you joining us on I-95.5, as well as those joining us online on Facebook and YouTube. Please remember to like the live when you join, and anytime throughout if you forget, it really does help the show.
All right, so we have in studio with us this morning, and we thank him for accepting our invitation to do what we do every year, which is it's International Women. They fell right after Carnival, so we had to deal with that issue. But the chairman made his commitment, and he kept it, and he's here with us this morning to discuss what we have all been discussing since the end of the reign of the Merry Monarch. And I know we all have concerns, and we invited the chairman here this morning to sit, listen, and probably give us some answers, or try to get some solutions and even recommendations so that we can even experience a better 2026 Carnival season, which is earlier than this will be in February next year. Right? So, Mr. Winston Peters, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, God. Good morning, Natasha. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and wherever else in the world you're heard and seen. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being on your long-running, incredible program. I'm happy to be here.
And thank you very much. I would have started with an extempo, but I didn't want it to fall down here this morning. So
somebody asked me that too, I said, no, we're not embarrassing ourselves on national radio.
But I was trying to think in the end before we wrap up. Yeah, a minute before lunch. So, Papa Gyps,
yeah,
as I fondly call him,
yes,
and he got that title from the year when he sang Sing Bam Bam.
Sing Ram Bam.
Yes, Sing Ram Bam. And actually, we found, while doing some research on the chairman, we found a video, and we show you that a group of white children.
There was one black boy in the mix, though.
Yeah, there was one in the mix. Campbell Hall, World Music, and they were playing the same song, Sing Ram Bam. Yeah, I mean, they're no all stars, but they try their best with
They
it.
play the music. They play the music.
Yeah, they play the
Trinidad and Tobago will always have, and I hope we do always have, the best steel pans ensemble in the world.
Yes.
I hope we continue to so do. And I think from all that I'm seeing, the trajectory is that the children's band are doing well, whether it's the primary school band, the secondary school band, or just the children band. They're doing very, very well. Children Panorama this year was the biggest that I have seen in a long, long, long time, or if not the biggest that I've seen. It was well attended, and the players are all in sync and stuff. So yes, and we are exporting. We have exported steel pan to the world, even though we did not export the copyright, because in the days when steel pan came about, it was scorned and scoffed upon. I mean, everybody looked at it as if you were a steel band player, you were nothing more than a hooligan and a no good, a dunce, and all that kind of thing. So everything we did in this country was met with that same fate. And today we have to reverse that, and that reversal is taking place in the steel pan fraternity. And it has taken place already in the Calypso fraternity. Well, the mass fraternity is anybody, so I don't think that mass fraternity was ever felt the brunt of that. But Calypso and steel pan did. And today the steel pan is our national instrument, and I dare say that Calypso is our national music. Calypso, along with all its derivative. Calypso has bred a lot of other genres of music.
So let's start there with the pan. It is from what you just explained and from what we saw, it is safe to say that this tradition, apart from, we touched on this first, will continue for a few generations to come unhindered.
It has been with us for generations gone, albeit in not in the best of health. But now, yes, I believe that it is not a tradition really and truly. It's just a musical innovation that we have given to the world. And it's something that we're exporting. I mean, it's music. It's like the guitar. It's going on infinity. The guitar, the piano, the saxophone. They all were invented somewhere and came sometime. I don't have the history. I don't have the history behind when all of them came about. But they started in somewhere, some part of the world, just like our steel pan. And everybody today knows the guitar or tries to play it. Everybody knows the piano. Everybody knows the saxophone and the trumpet and all that is metamorphosized, whatever. The metamorphosis that it has gone through with inventing different parts of it and different things, tenor sax, alto sax, we have it all, So the same thing is going to happen to the pan, I hope. And from what I'm seeing now, and I want to thank the government for finally having the pan declared the national instrument. That declaration, I think it made a lot of difference in people's minds, people who were turned off and, wouldn't want their children to play. I was prohibited from playing the pan. I was one of them guys who couldn't go and play pan. And even though I had a pan side just over the street from me. So I'm happy. The trajectory that I'm seeing with the steel pan is great. The Calypso is already gone. Nobody can do anything about Calypso and all the other things that the musical genre that it has spawned. So it's going to go, and it's going to continue to evolve into different things.
Yes, well, I mean, in terms of the steel pan, obviously an indigenous creation out of the drum, right? Because the drum is the original musical
biscuit pan in the first instance.
Yes. Yeah. So an evolution of the drum, and as you say, it's something indigenous that we hope will continue to spread, because every time you sit down and you watch Panorama and you see those 80 to 100 players playing this music with no music sheets together in harmony, in sync, they dancing. It is such a magical thing.
Totally magical. Even the very instrument itself is magical. People want to know, how can people get an old oil drum or an old piece
like
of
that,
plain tin to put something together? It's very percussive because you have to beat it and stuff to play it.
Yep.
But it could play any note that you have in the world. We can play it on the steel pan and any type of music. So I mean that in itself is an innovation that comes from the mind of some of the world's greatest creative people.
But what I like I said, every year I look at Panorama. every year, and I feel the same way every year. How the hell do they do that? Yeah, serious.
You're not alone.
And every year,
Yes.
I look especially, and then there are certain orchestras that give you that. Jesus Lord, how them All Stars is one of them. The speed and dexterity
Yes.
that their players play with.
Yes.
Most of these bands, it's amazing how they find these notes, and I said, my brain can't wrap around this at all.
And that is why I can't play the pan. I play the guitar. I fool around on the keyboard and stuff. I can't play the pan, which is unfortunate because, again, it's come from inculcation. They inculcated in me when I was very, very young that steel band is nothing to play.
Yes.
And you mustn't get around to that. So they did that with me with calypso too. Even though my mother is a singer. My mother played the guitar. My mother sang. My mother's a very good singer. As a matter of fact, I attribute the vocal ability that me and my sister and brothers and now my nieces and nephews have from my mother, because my mother was a professional singer, but my mother never wanted me to sing calypso. She didn't mind me singing. As a matter of fact, one day she said to me, I don't want you singing that in my house, you're spoiling my children. I'm serious. And you know what I said to my mother? I said, Mommy, this same thing what I sing one of these days will mind you, Help my God, I told her that. I was only about 6 or 7 years. But I told her that. I don't know how I managed to say it, but I said it.
And you end up with all your teeth still?
I end up with everything. My mother wasn't that kind of person. You see,
Thank God for that.
my mother was the person who did give us some liberty of expression. Yeah, and
But my mom too was a lover of calypso, as a matter of fact, and then we talk about the calypso. But how we were introduced to it, every carnival Sunday night, the Marsh Gras, that was a family event in the neighborhood who used to come across, and we used to sit and look. Chalky was one of her favorite persons, and it was something that was embedded in me from young. But yet, if I tell her going to sing guy, so you're mad? You can't make no money off of that. You can't make no living off of that. And I remember writing her. Fast forward, when I ended up in prison, I wrote her a letter telling her, if there's one thing I would like you to understand, is that I have to sing calypso.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and I stuck with that and never deviated, despite all the heartache and pain and struggle.
But God, has it changed? Has that changed from when your mother said that you can't make no money from it? What until your 2025 calypso?
Yeah.
What has changed?
Well, let me just, if I may interject.
Yes, of course.
I have never had that kind of problem. My mother telling me that didn't mean that I wasn't able to sing my calypso. At 4 years old, there's a man in Miaro, God rest his soul, a man named Mr. Shovington. Mr. Shovington loved me, Mr. Shovington liked me, and I was around there. Mr. Shovington found I was the bravest little fella he ever knew in his life, because I was born a brave child. That's how I was. That's how I am still. Mr. Shovington, there was a competition, a calypso competition for little boys or little people. In them days, it's boys who used to sing calypso, not girls. And Mr. Shovington decided that he asked Mami Alma if he could take me and to go up to Miaro, to go in the village hall and sing. And Mr. Shovington took me and I sang. And I on the stage and sing my calypso and whine my own calypso that I wrote at 4 years old. It didn't make much sense. I know it's still Teresa was mad here in Trinidad. She went to BG, she danced with a fry monkey. She went to Tobago, she danced with a male kobo. Now she eating some big rat like a garapat. And what it meant, I don't know. I didn't care. I had nothing, but there was something maybe in the back of me that said something about who I would be or who I... And I have been singing calypso from then to now. Fortunately enough for me, I met Sparrow when I was a child. I met Kitchener when I was a child. I met Stalin when I was a child. I met Lord Shorty when I was a child. They all came to Miaro. Miaro, thanks for being a resort. All these people came there, and all of them became my friends. Stalin told me in 1962 when I was 10 years old, Stalin said to me, "You're going to be one big Calypsonian." And Stalin called me nothing from that day until the day he died, the boy. Stalin never called me anything else but the boy. because he knew me since I was 10 years old. Then I leave Miaro, went to San Fernando, meet and so we started. I was really a big man since I'm a child, No, some people might think that is a joke. I really never had a real childhood. I was a big man since I was a child. My parents don't know what school I really went to, I went to every school in Miaro. Miaro RC, Miaro Government, Trinity Government, Rio Claro RC. I started off in Moruga. I went to Bastia RC school. I went to all the schools in Miaro. My parents don't know what school I really went to.
Explain that.
Well, because in those days, you could have just go to school. And when you leave and you go to school, I ain't want to go to that school up there. I go down the road and tell them I want to go to school. I go to school.
What?
Yes, what?
It's first right.
Well, that was so. It was easy to go to school. It wasn't as hard as it is now to go to school. And I tell people I should be the brightest man in Trinidad and Tobago because I went to all these schools. And I've never been to high school in Trinidad. I don't know nothing about the common entrance and this and that and the other. I went to high school in America.
Okay.
So I know nothing about the thing, that kind. But I went to every primary school in Miaro. That's the truth.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are just breaking the ice here with the NCC chairman, Mr. Winston Peters, and hoping that, some of the things that we would put on the table here this morning, that we would get some answers for. Now, let's go to the Calypso, chairman.
Yes.
You've heard, and I've heard a lot of misinformation about the tents not being well supported, and why that is so now, and all of that. Now, you're in the field, you understand what's the trials of the Calypso tent right now. I think and you explained to us something off the air, and I want you to start with that. When you ran your tent, you started your show promptly at 8 and you were done by 11.
11, yes. I started 8 o'clock, I finished at 11 o'clock.
And we and the members of the public have complaints about that issue. Some tents, their intermission is at 11:30. And, some people think that is one of the reasons that people staying away from the tent because the shows go down too late. And that.
But also, if you could speak
that's not the reason.
Hold on.
No, you could also speak to the importance of the tent, that discipline in promoting the art form.
There are so many aspects of why Calypso tents are not successful as they used to be. We live in a different time. When Calypso tents used to be packed, because I was fortunate enough to be in Calypso tents when they used to have, we had one tent that used to have 3 shows a night. I was in a tent that we used to have a show running in Port of Spain, one in Tunapuna, and one in Chaguanas, all at the same night. When 2 singers finish here, they have a car, they take you down to Chaguanas, and you go and so, and when the car from Tunapuna come and pick up the 2 or 3 down there, bring you back in the tent down here. That was Victory Calypso tent. The tent used to be sold out. All the tents used to be sold out. But I want to tell you, there is something in life called change. And it is the only thing in life that is consistent. When in the days of Calypso tent, when the Calypso tents were in their heyday, the Calypso tent was one of the main attractions that it had.
Right.
Nowadays, Calypso tent is traditionally around the carnival season. Long time in the carnival season, you had a fete, maybe in Lions, and you would have one maybe not before Fire Fete and all of them. Then you'd have one up in Princess Building and these kind of things. But these places only used to have at a time. When you had a fete that had 800 people, it was big fete. When you had a fete in PSA or something that had 1,000 people, that was a massive fete. Today, all these things are shared between so many activities. The tent patrons are shared there. Now, we live in a different time with a different generation. The people who came to Calypso tent at my time, they're my age now. The younger people now who are going to all these things, they hardly even know about the Calypso tent. What they know about is all these big time things that Marshall would have, or this other, Bungie and they would have, or Voice or whatever they would have. So they created their own niche. So the tent is really and truly something that is nostalgic. If you understand what I'm saying, it's a nostalgic thing. If the tent wasn't as physical thing as it was now, it might have been just being a museum. The truth be told is that is what it is, because it is not the same era. Everything has an era. When you see a Bedford truck coming down the road now, what you say? Oh God, look at that truck, boy, look at that Bedford truck going down there. Or if you see something, what we used to call jitney. You remember what jitney was? You ever know what a jitney? Well, I know about a jitney. If you see a jitney coming down the road, you know, good, that antique look good, boy. Well, it's the same way Calypso tents are looked at.
Okay.
And more than that, the calypsos that we sing today, every calypsonian in a calypso tent today singing calypso to try to get to the savannah.
Correct.
Or to get, nobody is singing in calypso tent for entertainment purposes. When you go to a tent long ago, you used to have entertainment, different types of entertainment. As a matter of fact, some of the calypso that you would hear in the tent, you would never hear it on the radio, because at that time we were more sophisticated, and some of the words that you're saying today on radio and in calypso and playing on the radio, you wouldn't even hear that. So people would go to the tent to hear those kind of things. And you would go to the tent to hear people sing songs about politics, and politics of the day, and politicians of the day, whether they support them or they didn't support them. Today, when you go in a calypso tent or you go anywhere, if UNC is in power, you hear plenty calypso about UNC, about Pandey and Kamala and this. And if PNM is in power, you hardly hear any negative calypso, even though there might be negativity. I am saying to you, it is because calypsonians, basically, I myself included, I have on my PNM clothes now, you know. I'm talking with all my PNM clothes, because when I finish here, I go into my PNM rally. But I'm saying to you that this is the fact. I sang a song about it as well. Calypsonians, say something for your country. You understand? And this is all these facts are what keep people away from the tent. Quite apart from which there was an era a couple of years ago when the Calypsonians sang everything negative about Indian. We the Calypsonians should be credited for creating chutney music, you know. The Calypsonians should be credited for creating chutney music. Not Shorty in the way he did it, you know. But I'm talking about because of the negative way that Calypsonian handled the East Indian community, okay? They found a niche for themselves where they could go and have their own thing, even though they are part of the country. And so it is positive, because now it forms a great part of our cultural landscape. But the antecedents of it is that we treated them too badly. In the Calypso tent, who want to come and sit down in a Calypso tent and hear people talking about your prime minister who is an Indian, however? I mean, people have pride in place.
No, but you know, and let me deal with this one time, right?
Deal with it.
As Kurt said in his Calypso, everybody got touched, from Dr. Williams come right up the road, right? People always point the arrow or the finger at Watchman, the favorite three Calypsonians I like to call, Watchman, Crocro, and Aloes, for chasing, so to speak, the East Indian community out of the tent. Now, here where I beg to differ. When Mr. Pandey became Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and he started to get hit with, when his turn came, as Kurt said, it's your turn now, right? He made a comment that every member of the community now ran with it and twisted a bit. What he said was, they attacking an Indian Prime Minister. And as soon as he said that, it turned into Calypso attacking Indian people. And I think that is where the whole storm, the whole firestorm started. And I find it unfair that, you know, when his turn came to get his bashing, he used that comment. And that is, to me, started the exodus. You know, I could be wrong, but this is how I saw it. When he said, they aren't attacking our Prime Minister, you know, they're attacking our Indian Prime Minister.
Well, we have attacked all Prime Ministers.
Exactly.
But I'm saying what it is to the extent to which you will attack whoever. You could have Chuck does sing more Calypso about Eric William than anybody else in this country, negative and otherwise.
What Eric said.
But no, let the jackass break.
Right.
But at the time, right, when that was happening, you would understand that there was a certain kind of feeling. But when it is that you're going and sing about people's wife and you're talking about people, you understand? I mean, there's too much negativity there. So I understand. So I'm saying to you, I don't want to go into all the things that I would want to say about that particular thing, but I want to tell you that those are some of the contributing factors to. I remember a guy named Naya and stuff, right? In Samoa. Every carnival, he used to just buy out the tickets in shadow tent and give it away. And it used to be packed with Indian people, this people, all kind of people. Nowadays, that is not happening, and those things are not going to happen again. Those things are going to be for the history book. If you want to see those things...
You think it's going to happen again?
No. Well, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen again because everything has an era.
Right.
And I don't know if Calypso tent... It have Calypso tent with a different way now. One Marshall and them doing that this modern day Calypso tent. As strange as that might sound, what voice and them doing all these... That's today's Calypso tent. That's what it is. They have a few Calypsonians singing the big hit song and thing, not the same thing that you and I would sing, but this is their world. This is what they're doing, and that's their Calypso tent as strange. As opposed to ours, we have our tent and they have theirs too. They don't have it the same way like what we have. They do different stink and dirty and all them things. That is them Calypso tent.
So then, Gypsy, what you're saying is, and you made some very good points and rationale as to why the tents are not succeeding. So what you is the Calypso Monarch competition itself be obsolete? Because all of the competitors, or most of the competitors, coming out of these very tents that are unsupported and...
Well, no, I would not say that.
No.
And I would never want us to remove the Calypso Monarch competition. Never, ever. Because
me too.
Anybody you hear talking about, well, competition, they are fools. And I make no apology for saying that. They're foolish. Because there's nothing in the world that happens without competition. Nothing. Nothing. And I'm saying nothing. What kind of phone you have?
Android.
Right. And what about the Apple man who make the phone? The people making Apple. Don't you think there's a competition why you have that and he has that?
Yes.
The reason that because they have a competition to have it. Yeah? Everything in the world, why you feel a Mercedes-Benz is on top of wherever it is, because they're in competition with Toyota and they're in competition. If they could buy them out, they will. That is the way of the world. In America, because of our cultural putting togetherness, that is the reason why we are the way we are. This is our culture. What we have is ours. That's how we do it. That's how we find our stars. In America, they have all kind of things, which we're always trying to do. Everything we see them do, we want to do. So every time we have something, we're trying to get into what they have. They have Star Search, and they have America Have Talent, and they have this, and that's the same competition like what we are having. But they are doing it in a different way. You know how many people they found from doing those things that are stars today? Some of them that they even rejected become big stars.
Yeah. But these shows that you're referencing here, these shows, and let's go tell these, apart from telling us how we can continue to have the tent supported or revitalize that, but these shows you're talking about are well-produced shows, down to the last second.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that one day we would reach to that point where, okay, let me tell you for instance.
What is preventing us, right, from doing that? Why a Calypso tent that there are 35 Calypsonians in it?
Well, this is what I'm coming to. Hold on.
Okay.
The thing is well-produced now.
Level of production.
Hear this. When we have, I don't know how you did how you ran your tent, but, and I've seen it for years, the only persons I know who actually did a dress rehearsal was Spectacular. We were there. You and I sang with them. You see how they produce their shows. Right. The thing is, when you look at America Got Talent or The Voice or one of these things are produced down to the last second of the. When are we going to get to that? And how did you do it by starting your show 8 o'clock and having people going home by 11?
Because that
when I spend my own money, I do what I want with it, and run things how I want. When you have to depend on subvention from this one and that one and whatever, there's no calypso tent in Trinidad and Tobago now that is run on its own. None. All of them need a subvention from somewhere, and they need somebody to give them some money to do it. It's a business. But nobody will say they're going to take their own $1 million or their own $2 million and put in a calypso tent. What they would look to do is to say they have a calypso tent and try to get sponsorship here, get a little thing here. And everything is always insufficient to do exactly what you're saying there. When I ran my calypso tent, I paid for it. So I didn't have to go and ask nobody for anything to do anything for me. I had 12 calypsonians in my tent, 12 calypsonians, and it had one extra person there if something should happen, or every now and then they would go on and do whatever. But I had 12 calypsonians that was on every night, and I looked for calypsonians who would bring people to the tent. You can't have the majority of people. You have 2 calypsonians in your tent that are recognized and are on top of their game, and you have 25 people who singing nothing or saying nothing. And the fact remains is that is always going to happen. And let me tell you something. While everybody have to get a chance, I got a chance, everybody have to get a chance to do whatever it is. But everything is not for everybody. And people have to start to recognize that one of the first things that you must be true to is yourself. You have to understand that if this is not for you, then find something else to do.
So we have some people singing calypso who should not be?
Well, I wouldn't say they shouldn't be. But evidently when you look at them and when you listen to them and what you do, you know that they don't have a future in it.
They're not coming up to
scratch. You know, right now I could call, let me not do that. No. But I could call 2 young calypsonians, though, even though I wouldn't say what I wanted to say there. But I could call 2 young calypsonians that have a real future in calypso. When you listen to Tizia O'Connor and you watch him on stage and you look at what he do, you know that he's an artist.
Yes.
When you look at little Aaron Duncan, right? You know that he's an artist, just like when I look at Marshall when he was like that. You know that he was going to become what he become, But you'd have some other people. They just singing a calypso because they see a calypso to sing. That's not the real ambition. They wouldn't sacrifice anything else to be that.
So what would you recommend now for the tents to be well produced and attractive to people? What would you recommend?
For the best calypsonian that you can find. Tell the others that, listen, we could only take 10 or 15 calypsonians in the calypso tent. And this is what it is, and we'll have a good show. The tent that we had this year was a very good one, because Mr. King decided that he would make some changes. And he did make those changes, and I saw some benefits in the changes that he made. The tent had people all the time. Yeah. And those are the kind of changes that has to be made, but you have to have people with the testicular fortitude to stand up and say that and do that. You don't hire your friend because your friend is singing a calypso. You hire your friend because your friend's singing a calypso and he could bring people to your tent.
And he took some flack for it, but in the end...
he took flack for it, but at the end of the day, the benefit shows that what he did is the right thing. You surround yourself with people, you surround your tent with people. A calypso tent have no reason having 35 people in it, and I want to tell you something. If these calypso tent people who running them, right, had to find their own money to do it, they will never have a tent. But they have 35 people in a calypso tent, and only 5 of them singing have anything that will bring anybody to the tent. First of all, you must find out, I had a calypsonian who complained to me this year that they give him 10 tickets to sell, right? And after they give him the 10 tickets to sell, he say he lost the tickets and he lose the contract what they give him to whatever with the tickets and have you. But he came now to say that he don't want to pay them the money for the 10 tickets because they shouldn't take it out a little bit of money what he getting in the tent because he just lost the ticket. I say, well, it's your responsibility. If you have people think and you lose it, you have to pay for it. You can't tell nobody that. But I'm saying to you, why should it boil down to a calypso tent? Nobody can give me ticket to sell in no calypso tent. I will sell ticket in a calypso tent if I'm in the ticket booth. But you give me ticket to walk around to sell people, I'm not going to do that. Yeah.
And I saw a vision.
And when you have to have a calypsonian or calypsonians in your tent that you have to give ticket to sell, then they are not worthy of being there. That means that they can't bring nobody in your tent. You understand what I'm saying? Got it have Calypsonians who could put on a show by themselves and people would come. One person would put on a show and people would come, a show build around them. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for people who, I mean, you can't.
Taking up a space.
You can't even bring 5 people to the Calypso tent.
Yeah.
I mean, you could look for potential. We have Calypsonians with potential, but you must look for them. Like, I look at, again, I'll come back to Dwayne, to Zaire O'Connor. I look at him as a child, I watch him, and that's why we had the junior competitions. Those junior competitions, they're essential. You could source out who inside there, who would be. I know Kurt Allen since he's a child, you know. And I know Kurt Allen would have been good. I know Roger George, I know he would have been good. I know that because I looking at them, you look at people mentality, you look at how them, you look according to them, they had, in order to be a Kaison, you have to have some gam.
I'm just going to use the word, yeah.
But
If we just,
sorry, no, just to expand on that, in terms of talent identification, who, I mean, you are well placed because of your experience and knowledge, but who is spearheading that effort to find the next Sparrow and the next Kurt Allen? How are we going about developing Calypsonians?
Tuco is doing it. The schools are doing it. All the schools have competition.
Mm-hmm.
All the Tuco has the junior competitions.
Yeah.
In all its facet, we have everything there for them. Look at that little boy. I could tell that he is going to be a good performer. I could look at him from now, and I was a child like him. You see that little boy there? I see myself in him. When I look at the other little one, there's the other little one. It have him. I don't know.
Darius?
No, not Darius. Darius is the little one.
Yeah.
He's a little bigger. It's my little partner.
Zachary?
Zachary.
Yes.
When you look at Zachary, right?
Yeah,
When you look at Zachary and you look at them, you are already seeing the potential in them to be entertainers. Because that's what it is. And I look at some other people, like they only sing a calypso because somebody give them. They sing in a calypso because even though somebody may have written these other children's songs. Yes. But you can see the potential in them to be whatever it is. And that's what we have to look for. Just the same way I could watch the potential, not potential, but I could watch the ability of big people, Calypsonians, and say, nah, not you. Or nothing like them. And I will tell them that. I've said it and they get vexed with me. I have told Tuco in an open meeting, right? That not because somebody is on your executive, we didn't hire you on your executive to be in the Calypso tent. We hire you on the executive to do the administrative work.
Business.
Yes.
Right.
And that don't mean because we hire you to do the administrative work that makes you a person who have to be in the tent at the expense of maybe a good Calypsonian who could bring people to the tent. I say that in the meeting always. That's why I say it here open. You cannot do that. And they say about me, you could say that because you don't make it and you is this and that, but I just didn't make it just so. I work hard to make it. You understand? But I have the ability to do it. You don't. And you have to understand that, not because I know one fella leave the executive because he found out they wasn't in San Fernando, because they wasn't, they didn't want him in the tent or he couldn't get enough money in the tent or some kind of thing. And the truth be told, the man can't carry a note in a bucket.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Independent Show. Let's go for a quick break. And when we return, we'll have this conversation further with the chairman of NCC, Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters. And I'm going to say happy birthday to Mr. Harvey Boyce.
Yes.
Oh,
happy birthday to you.
Birthday,
50 years as a member of the People's National Movement.
Taurus King.
So happy birthday to you, Harvey. And you know, as he said that, I found my mother's party card the other day, dated 1965. You know? 65. She kept that.
Of course.
Yeah. So let's go to that break, folks. We'll be back with more. And those of you who have, I know we listen to most of you, the members of the public, you know, making your comments about the carnival and what you witnessed and all of that. You could drop some of the comments on Facebook or YouTube, so that
the comments coming in thick and fast. We have some people who disagreeing with Gypsy about the competition, and so when we come back, we'll share some of those comments.
All right. So right there, we'll be back.
want to drive me insane. I don't know what to do again. What's the formula to win a crown down in Port of Spain? Man, every year I come too strong. I sing in a powerful song. Not for hell, they won't give me the calypso crown. So my good partner tell me, hear what you doing wrong, Gypsy. You have too much good lyrics in your melody. Everybody love your tune, cause we know that you could tune. So sing this song and I'm sure that you can.
Yes, Kim. Online here with this weirdo named Larry. I'm getting rid of him now. Let's take a selfie. It looking good, boy. I putting it online.
Hey, I thought you say you went to the beach with your parents.
Who's you?
It's me, Larry, from online.
Hola, my name is Elena. Well, it's actually not my real name. You don't really care, do you? All you care about is once you pay your money to my boss that I look pretty, smell nice, smile for you, and let you have good time. Enjoying yourself and doing to me whatever you want to do for the money you paid. What you don't see or know is that I don't get any part of the money you paid. My boss takes all of it. I am forced to work, taking as many clients as my boss tells me to. I am beaten, made to take drugs, and I cannot leave this kind of work on my own. I am a victim of human trafficking. Please, por favor, help me.
Join us this Sunday, March 16th, for episode 11 of Eye on Dependency, reality radio at its best.
Born in Mayaro, he began his Calypso journey from the age of 4. He is a former Mayaro Calypso Monarch, National Calypso Monarch, 14 times Extempo Monarch, 32 times Calypso Monarch finalist, 42 times semi-finalist, former Minister of Culture, and now Chairman of the National Carnival Commission. If no one else knows about our culture, he does. This Sunday on Eye on Dependency, Garth and Natasha welcome Winston Gypsy Peters to speak about his life as an entertainer and all things carnival. We'll also ask his thoughts on this year's festival and about the NCC's plans for all interest groups. Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. The Counter Trafficking Unit, Ministry of National Security brings you Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you for staying with us. And, morning, PG, and thank you for tuning in as well. And Papa Gyps, so to close off this, I would like to make a suggestion. Now you have the Carnival Village, right? You think that too would have in some way contributed to people? Because if I have a choice between $3.99 and $150, I choose in $3.99. What we don't see in the Carnival Village, could it be going forward that we could have a night for Kaiso, so each Kaiso tent could get a night in the village to make up? Because, you know, most of the time our tent open, the open night packed with people. Judges night packed with people. But in between the season, is a trickling. Is it possible that going forward you all could discuss having each tent, they will say have a Wednesday night or a Thursday night for Kaiso, and a Kaiso tent send up 10, 12...
It has that. We have Calypso there.
No, but I'm talking about the tent.
No,
So-
we never make any accommodation for any Calypso tent because the Calypso tent is a private entity. You see, Calypso tents are supposed to be private entity, and I want to tell you that if Calypso tent becomes totally private entity, then Calypso tent will start to have people. Because the private people would spend their money to make sure that they have a proper Calypso tent, and it wouldn't have so many Calypso tents.
Right, but as for now, the Calypso tent under Tuco is Tuco run Calypso tent.
Yes, with
Right.
all the
So
tents.
then- right.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago own all the Calypso tents in Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
All.
So then why not then give each tent, so let's say one Thursday night you have Kaiso House. Next Thursday night you have Kaiso Dynasty. Next Thursday night you have Classic Rousseau. Next Thursday night you have Review. How
We may have a singer or two from these tents from time to time, just like you're saying there, but we are not prepared to accommodate no whole Calypso tent. Because Calypso tent, again, I'm telling you, is a private entity that's supposed to stand alone. And if it cannot stand alone, that's a business that is not, that needs revamping, that needs looking at, because the only reason why it's surviving is because all of them is subvented by the government. All. The village is, let me tell you why the Calypso, the John Cupid village is about. When I was a minister of government, I put that in my head, and let me tell you what it is. They have all the entertainment that entails carnival things, all of it. That is put together so that the poor people or people who cannot afford to go to all these $1 million party and thing they're having all about, they can't afford to go to that, and most of them are aged people who have already paid their taxes. They paid whatever they paid, so it's not free. They paid for that years and years and years ago. So today, we are putting something in place for them so that they could come and enjoy themselves and have a real good time during the carnival instead of staying home on a rocking chair and not being able to come. We have a free thing there for them. And the second part of that is why we encourage so much children, because they are the ones who will have to pay for that in the future. So we want them to come there now and see what they're going to be paying for and what reshape they would like when their time come to do it. But that is the reason why they're there. That is not there to accommodate no Calypso tent. It is there to accommodate poor people. Just like when I put Brass Bacchanal together, I put something together, an affordable thing, because all them fete and thing that they have in, $500, $600, $1,000, $1,500, people can't afford to go to it. So Carnival Monday night, we put something together so that poor people could come in there and look at something, and it keeping brass alive. Because a lot of these young people now don't know about brass, they get on a synthesizer and they hear a synthesized song and they think that is it. So we have that there for that. So we keep it, all the things are either free or very cheap so that people could afford to come to it. It is not there to accommodate Calypso tent because the Calypso tent not making money. If the Calypso tent not making money, then let's get out of that business and try to revamp it. Do it a different way.
Agreed. I think...
yeah, but you just said, just remember, but you just said that the Calypso Monarch will never, you don't want it to go. It will
the
stay.
Calypso tent is not going to hamper the Calypso Monarch, just like how we
how you get to the Calypsonians?
But you have judges that go all the way around and judge people who get in some of them people inside. Which tent Kurt Allen singing?
I understand.
Wait,
so you have one big unattached tent then?
Not one big unattached tent. You have unattached. Listen, I don't want to get into what we could do here. This is Tuco's job and not mine. Okay, you ask me a question, I answer it. If Tuco want any advice from me, I will feel free to give it to them as much as I can. But I'm saying to you that this is Calypso tent has to be seen as a business. Because if it is a business that is failing, then you need to do something about it. Because you have a business and it's failing, or I have a business and it's failing, I am going to revamp it, look at it, get the right people to look at it and see how we should do it different. I admire what King tried to do this year, but that should be done. As a matter of fact, it should only have about 2 tents that the government paying for. One as a nursery to get Calypsonians from there into a big tent where we could have plenty shows. Not having all these tents that the government have to be subsidizing.
Well,
it doesn't make sense.
We need to investigate who's benefiting from these enterprises.
Well, whoever what I'm saying is I don't want to be critical of anything. That is Tuco's job. When I was Tuco's president, I had that to do that. It is no longer. I have to look after the NCC business. And I'm saying to you that all I'm saying is that all these tents cannot continue to be subvented if it's not doing well. Because Calypsonian could get into anything without having to perform it in a Calypso tent.
But the
Because
tent also provides a kind of stream of income for these people who are trying to make it to the savannah.
And
That
I
is the goal.
I agree that it is doing that. But while it is doing that, I am saying to you that it is not a money-making entity. So it could be doing that is all right. But what God's specific thing was, why don't we put a tent tonight in the village and a next tent in the village? We have things in the village every night, every single night.
Okay.
And I want to tell you that it has Calypso in the village every single night, but we hire Calypsonians.
Right.
Maybe some of them from that very tent.
Right, but what I'm saying, sir, is that if the sentiment that you just shared about the struggle of the tent, if I could sit back and give it a shot in the arm, the same people we speak about who pay the dues and all of that, they would like to come Kaiso tent, but then if they have a choice between a free show and paying to go a Kaiso tent, then they will do
go
that.
nowhere because
Right.
they don't have the money to go to the Calypso tent.
Right.
And-
So
and-
then
and
why
and
not?
There's no free show for them to go to.
So then why not, seeing that the government already paying for it? Then why not designate a night and a tent could drop in, okay, tonight we have featuring in the Carnival Village, Calypso Review. Next week,
and
Thursday.
we don't have to pay them
we
any
have-
more money.
No, they're still working on the same. No, that's what I'm talking
No,
about.
they don't
we
do
paying
that.
them already.
They still want, when they come in the Calypso tent, they want us to give them money to come in the village.
Because you're calling them individually. But
no, I'm talking about the tent. The tent want us to pay them to come in the village.
Is that right?
Yes, we asked already.
Nah, man, don't say that.
But I'm telling you, the tent want us to pay the tent.
For what?
Well, I don't know. They have to do this and they have to do that and they have to do whatever to come in the village. And they ask us for more money, even though where they're performing now is subsidized by us.
No, well, I know
You
that
understand
part
what
of
I'm
it.
saying?
That part of it, I didn't know.
Well,
the thing
this
is,
part of it you know now.
Right. No, the thing is, what I'm saying is that the only thing changing here is the venue. Our tent
That
is in
is-
City Hall.
Yes.
Right. Tonight
We're performing in the village.
because we go Digo Martin and perform.
And what I'm trying to say, yes, but what I'm trying to say is that when they go Digo Martin and perform, the people either paying for them to come down to Digo Martin,
Yeah.
or buying the show from them or whatever. We not buying something that we already bought. We can't buy something that we already paid
No, but
for.
I cannot. In all earnest, I cannot support because I'm saying that maybe the logistics with moving the band from the tent to the Carnival Village. That's the only thing that I could see that they want. Okay, pay the transport for Winamico. But if I have tent on a Thursday night and it's supposed to be City Hall, but Thursday night is our turn in the Carnival Village, I don't see why I have to get paid extra to do that.
Well,
the tent paid me already.
But that is the thing, you see. But them want you to, if the tent come into the village, they want you to pay the tent. So we pay Calypsonians, the Calypsonian themselves.
Also, this is
We have
why
we have all aspects. We have chutney, we have Calypso, we have soca, we have all aspects of it. We have gospel and all.
Well, that
We have a
answers-
So
gospel
instead
night.
of dealing with the tents, you're dealing with
Of
individual
course, we deal with
performance.
individual because we don't have to bring a tent there. We already paying the tent to do what they're doing and to stay
Which
with
is
them.
cost effective.
I understand what you're saying, God.
Yeah, I heartbroken by that because.
Well, don't
you
be
know,
heartbroken because that's what happened.
No, here's why. Here's why I'm heartbroken by that because every time I go to the village, I see the amount of people
Pack
there.
up in the village, yeah.
Right, and I'm saying, it would be so nice to know that Classic
get
Rooster
a
could get
chance
a
to
night here,
perform there.
And
Kaiso you could
yeah,
get a
but
night
the thing
here.
about it is that
And this I see
Are
it.
you talking about Classic Russo? What about God Sinclair? You want to perform there in front of those people, God,
Of
because
course.
when you're performing in the tent to 10 and 8 people, doesn't feel good, right? You
Yeah,
want
well,
a chance
somebody
to
had to
perform
call
your-
me.
Exactly.
call me.
It's because you want a chance to perform in front of a lot of people.
I want to tell you all something, right? People don't like people when they bring about change. The hardest thing to get accustomed to in this world is change. But I want to commend Mr. King because I talk to him a lot. And I want to commend him for his business-like approach to TUCO because I don't know if you remember when I was TUCO president, when I got in there, the first speech that I made to them, the day I become president, I said, I am a businessman and I am going to run TUCO as a business. Some of them didn't like that because business would exclude a whole lot of them because half of them were in them Calypso tent not supposed to be in there in the first place because they contribute nothing. So I am saying to you that they didn't too like that. But anyway, I went ahead, I did what I wanted to do. I'm the one who made sure that we had a property called Soca Boat. What first time to ever own anything like that is that, Soca Boat. I don't know when the politics play, whatever it is, they got out of it and they get nothing for it. But that has nothing to do with me. I was out already. I wasn't the president then. But I'm saying to you that I like Mr. King's approach, and I would help him to continue the approach that I'm seeing him taking. He's trying to put Calypso back on a professional level where people would feel that, Calypso is really going somewhere and is doing something, and that I like.
One thing I was impressed about when I came to the Dynasty to rehearse for Skinner Park, it had a step and repeat. I've never seen that in any Calypso 10 before. You know that what they have in Hollywood, just as you're going, before you're going to the venue, there's what they call a step and repeat, with the logo in the back and you stand there for pictures and all of that. I say, wow, this is a nice touch.
Because Mr. King has, and he takes advice, and he has a business mentality. The other people, I'm afraid, they don't have it, and they want to continue to have the secretary this and the other thing that and the whatever. That's what we are here to be that. If you don't want to be that, then get out of the organization. But for God's sake, if you don't have a good Calypso, or you don't have a good name, you pick Calypsonian for two things, right? You could pick a Calypsonian for the name, or you could pick them for the song. You might take an unknown who nobody know, but he has a great song. Or you could pick a Calypsonian. I mean, anybody could put Marshall Montano in the 10th year, whether you have a song or you have no song. You know that you could take him. You understand what I'm trying to say? That you take him for name. Whether you, not to say he doesn't have a song, I'm just using this as an analogy. And take for instance Shadow then. Anybody could have put Shadow in any tent, whether he has a song now or you don't have none at all. You understand? Because they know that is Shadow and people going to come. But you can't just take a man with no song, no name, no personality, no performance skill, and put him on top of the thing there and say, because he's the secretary or he's the whatever, I don't know what he is or what they are. I'm not talking about any particular individual. I'm talking about he or she, whoever they might be. You pick people for two reasons.
Name or song?
Name or song. And that's it. It are not in between.
So what advice going forward would you give the folks who run in Calypso tent? What advice would you have here for them?
I just give them. Make sure that you have a professional tent with professional people.
Right.
With people that have songs and people who have name.
And
make sure that you bring people to your tent. Our tent this year was successful.
And in terms of running the program, a tight program?
A tight program. You can't have a show 12 o'clock in the night is intermission. I came to your tent and left. I didn't get to see. I saw you perform. I saw you perform.
You and the mayor.
But after that, I had to leave because intermission is 12 o'clock in the night. Then when the show gonna finish?
Correct.
Yeah.
You cannot have a show with 35 Calypsonians.
And I think that's one of the major complaints from the general public.
Yes.
About the length of enforced anchors and all of these things.
The next thing I want to say, I alluded to it earlier in our conversation. Not everybody who have a Calypso would get to be on top of anything. Not everybody who sing a Calypso is a Calypsonian. People develop into whatever it is. And some of these people, before they even get on a stage, the pay is bigger than their ability. You understand what I'm trying to say? You have no ability. You can't sing. You can't perform. You can't do nothing. But you have a song and you must sing.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And the next thing that people have to understand is don't matter how many of us start together, we all are not going to finish in the same position. It's just like running. It's just like any other thing. And it's anything you do, there's somebody or some persons who are going to get on top of the heap. And there are some people who are going to remain in the middle of the heap. There are some people who are going to be down on the heap. And there are some people who will be off of the heap completely. That is life. That's the reality of life.
Now, the same thing about producing the show. Good. We have a product that we give to the world every year, which is Calypso Fiesta.
Yes.
Any thought in going forward? Because I have something to show you here, right? But any thought in going forward to having that too as a tighter produced product as well?
That could be televised.
Because, you know, if let's say MSNBC, for instance, or CNN, or anybody, who say, you know, let's cover Calypso Fiesta a year. And say, you know, you watch these people, again, they run to time, down to the last second. The way we do business, I remember when Soca Monarch and Danny Glover and Luke, all of these guys came down here, they were roasted by 2 o'clock in the morning because they never accustomed to this thing going on for all these set of hours.
Again,
how do we do that? How we tighten that show?
Again, you have to understand that where Danny Glover and they come from, they came from a different space.
Discipline.
And a different kind of culture. Our culture tells us to do this, and this is what we do. Like
more is good or less is
well, we believe that more is good, and we believe that that's how we do it. And I am saying to you, yes, it should have room for that. I remember when it had 24 Calypsonians singing 2 songs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
And they decided, okay, 24 Calypsonians singing 2 songs was not giving enough Calypsonian chance then. So they have 40 Calypsonians singing 1. But
and you had to pick 10 from that 40.
But the thing about it is that it's the same 10 you had to pick from the other from the 24.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is that is our culture. That's what they want. That's what the people in charge of that's how they want it. You all as Calypsonian, or we all as Calypsonian, if we believe that is not what we want, then we should lobby for that and say we want it X, Y, and Z. And this is still a country where majority rules. Yeah? Or in any organization, majority rule. So if it is that this is how we want it, then this is what we're supposed to say. But if it's not, I am one who always like 2 songs. But
me too.
Nobody, 1 song suit everybody fine, and I have adapted it, and I'm cool with that. Because I could write a song anytime my mind tell me. I could do that.
But do you envision, or would you like it to go back to the 2 songs?
I don't like anything. Every generation carve the world to suit themselves. Every generation carve the world. I'm in the waving gallery, you know. I'm in the departure lounge. These people now coming in, right? Them people now going on board, or they just on the flight. The flight ain't going nowhere yet. So they're shaping that how they feel is the right way. Who am I to tell them what to do? In my day, that's what I did. In my day, that's what we did. You understand? And in a time gone by, it used to be 1 song too, you know, long time ago, until the Calypsonians of the day decided, listen, this 1 song thing, that ain't cutting it for we. When you get to the finals, you must do 2 songs.
Right.
And that is what they had it as. But we changed that because this is these people's generation. This is their world.
Yeah, but what about what society thinks? What about the Calypsonian and what they think? Suppose the society wants 2 song competition.
If the Calypsonian want that, then the Calypsonians must say that. And the Calypsonians must say that in sufficient volume that it becomes the majority.
Well, here's the problem with that.
Yeah.
Calypsonians...
Where's the forum for that?
Well, hold on. Calypsonians... And I have to beat them on some of them on the calves this morning. And I hope most of them listening. Every time we have a meeting, and you've seen how many meetings we've attended, the only meeting I've missed so far is the last one they had, and it was on a Sunday morning, and I had to be here. But I've always been a contributor to our meetings. We could never have a quorum because the Calypsonians who you see during the season, busy running through the office, signing up form, they're signing up for competition. When you call a meeting, they're not there.
Because, God, I want to say something.
So how could be they be interested in elevating the art form, and as you said, raising their voices, and they're not coming to meetings?
Because Calypso is an individualistic thing. And everybody at a point in time believe that if they do X, Y, and Z, it may be inimical to their own existence. It may be inimical to their own going forward. So they don't want no part of it. And it is hard to put an individualistic thing into an organization.
No, but then why have an organization then?
Well, it have it because it has to administer something, but that's the reason why.
No,
Because
most of them are part of the organization because that's part of the criteria to go
enter
forward
the
to enter competition. So you sign up,
To
you
win the
register,
money.
and right.
So
But
we back to
they
that.
do not come to meetings. I have seen it year after year. No matter how many times.
and what is the consequence?
call-
What's the consequence to coming to no meeting?
Well, here's the thing. I recommended some consequences at times, but it was never followed up because there must be some rule or something in the Constitution that says you miss 2 meetings back to back or 3 meetings without valid reason, then there must be a consequence to that.
Do you
There
know
were no
why-
consequences.
Do you know why nobody will take you on?
Why?
Because you're in the minority. Because all of them are not thinking that. That is the reason why if you were on the same wavelength, the same wavelength with them, they would have done it because they're taking you on. You understand what I'm trying to say? They're not taking you on because they don't believe in to be on that same line that you're on.
Yeah, I recommended that many
And
times.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I mean,
I even suggested that.
I recommend things already. They call me a radical. You know, I stopped the show in Skinner Park already. I wonder if you knew that. You wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know that.
What year was that?
That was, I can't remember a year, but there was a year when they picked 12 Calypsonians, right? Or 12, Thomas Calypsonians, they used to pick 24. And they didn't want to give us what we wanted, right? And that's how I became Two Coast president, by the way. I stood up right there and then and tell them, well, listen, let Mr. Komabach and them go and sing. Let Komabach and they go and sing.
Who was Komabach at the time?
Komabach was, well, I see you really don't know. Because Komabach was in my position that I'm on NCC.
Oh, that
Right,
Komabach.
right.
Okay. Uh-huh.
He was the chairman of the National Carnival
Right.
Commission.
Yeah.
And I tell them, let Komabach and them go and sing. And Roy Augustus told me, we go in and find our next 24 Calypsonian. I said, well, if you could find a next 24 Calypsonian, go ahead. And strange enough, there were Calypsonian who is alive today who stood up with the NCC against me. But fortunately enough, I had the majority. And the majority said they wasn't going unless they adhered to giving us what we wanted. And that's how we got it, and that's how they kept the same 24. So I'm saying all these things to say to you that in order to have anything done, you must have a majority. If you have an idea for your organization and the majority don't go with it, then it's not gonna go.
So then it's a dictatorship, it's not a democracy.
Yeah, it's a democracy, but in democracy, majority rules. In dictatorship, anybody who is the dictator, one man
Who
can
is
rule.
the man at the head? Is the man who decides what goes and what doesn't go?
No. If you go in our organization and all of them, like I just give you an instance where I had Alos and all of them behind me that stood up with me and say, yes, unless we get X, Y, and Z, we're not going. Even though the then chairman threatened to have to pick an X12.
Right.
But they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it because guess what? The people who supported them was the minority and the people who supported us. And you could not get 24 Calypsonian. And we know that very well. You could not get 24 Calypsonian of that caliber to just take and carry down in Skinner Park. That would have court matter in it. You know, I did a lot of things, you know. I am the one who make them give Calypsonian 2 motorcar when 2 of them win, you know.
Okay.
Only you forget that.
That's
with Luther and Delamo.
And Delamo.
I
Yes,
make them give
remember
them
that.
because you say the first price is a motor car.
Yeah.
And you put 2 of them first. You have to get 2 cars.
They can't share the car.
You can't cut a motor car. And I stood up there and for months, they wait until they give it to us. But I stand up for what I believe in. You know, if I'm the only person in the world believing it, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That is how I am. And if you put me to lead, you either put me to lead or you don't put me to lead. But if you put me to lead, I'm going to lead. And leading takes that kind of fortitude.
But it's really heartbreaking at times, and even, you know, looking at from the executive level to know that you're calling meetings, and now people on the outside complaining there are no meetings. They're not having any meetings. But when you call the meeting, they're not coming. You know, it makes it befuddles the mind
They just wanted to call
sometimes.
meetings so they could see you and come in.
Well, clearly the only benefit.
No, yeah,
a little warm,
it's
yes.
a little warm in here today, but the conversation kind of heated too. So I mean, you know.
But so then, what the question remains: what is the benefit to being a member of an organization that does not allow you to air your views, allow you to put forward suggestions to the membership. I mean, if it's a membership-based organization, it should be ruled by the membership like a democracy.
Well, I am saying that, but even in democracy, you have leaders.
Yes.
And I'm saying to you that the majority either keep that leader there or they move the leader. But if the minority say move the leader and if the minority vote against the leader, the majority prevails. And that's the same thing that happens in organizations. Not everybody in your organization would agree with any proposal that is brought forward, but you are hoping that the majority would be in your corner so that you could get it done. If the majority is not in your corner, that is what democracy is all about. Now, if it's a dictatorship, right, and all the leader have to say are doing so and so, and nobody else say nothing, or nobody says nothing, or even though somebody say anything, it has no bearing on what he's going to do.
I guess the challenge is getting people, in a democracy as well, to getting people, the members or citizens, to participate in the democracy, which is what Garth is raising here. If people not coming to the meetings,
well, they don't.
You're not participating.
Let me tell you, Garth, I had an uphill battle as the president of TUCO. I brought in Unit Trust. I had Clary Ben come and talk to show Calypsonians how they could take just $25 out of their pay, whatever they get in for the season, put it into Unit Trust, and if you keep doing that and do whatever, it is going to multiply into X, Y, and Z, because that's what I do. So I was trying to get them to do it, so I brought people. Not one of them may take me on. I brought the insurance people, right? Trying to get a blanket insurance for all Calypsonians. So we will pay a blanket insurance for the year so that when Calypsonian die or Calypsonian is sick, you could get proper medical care, or you could go to some good institution, or when you die, you could have a proper burial and you're not going to ask nobody for no money. Not one of them take out the insurance. Not one of them did anything about it. As a matter of fact, they look at the immediacy of the $25 or the whatever dollars, but they will buy for the year, for the month, they'll buy 30 pack of cigarettes that cost 10 or 15 or 20 times more than what they was going to spend for their own life benefit. But you see, I can't, them in the majority, I can't do nothing about that. So what, you know who I could do something about, guess? About me. I could do it about me. So I am my own dictator. So I go and do whatever I want, and they are the majority, they're the democracy, let them keep it.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we have the NCC chairman in studio with us this morning, trying to see if we could make some headway into 2025 in a better frame of mind for all. And I want to go to some of the questions, right? So let me just run through this quick, Papa Jips, so that I think one of the issues here is that after Calypso, after the March grab, nothing happened. Remember, before we had work to do during the year. And when I say work, remember we had the zonal competitions, we had Independence Kaiso competition, we had Calypso History Month, they had some. But now I think the anxiety is that as soon as Calypso Monarch is done, or Calypso Fiesta is done, if you don't make it up the road, that is it for you until next year, please God. Is there any way that we could get sponsors back on board? Because I think one of the problems was lack of sponsorship for these during the year things. Because if we're looking at this as the Olympics, before the Olympics, they have several meets that prepare people for that big day, right? So then we can't down tools after Calypso Monarch and then pick it back up for the next Calypso Monarch. What about during the year?
God, I want to tell you something, right? There is no such thing as a professional amateur. No such thing. If you want to be a professional amateur, then that's totally up to you. That's just a word that I coined. But having said, you would know what it means, right? Because you could be, if you want a professional amateur, just remain amateurish. God, I'm an entertainer. That's what I am. I am an entertainer. Me, Winston Gypsy Peters, is an entertainer. My job is to entertain. When it's Carnival, I come to Trinidad. Well, now I live in Trinidad, but I entertain in Trinidad. And while I live in Trinidad and I entertain in Trinidad, when Carnival is finished, I have a whole thing to do also.
Yeah, Mr. Peters, that is
So
you.
wait a minute, but you have to come to that, and you can't wait for the government to do it.
I not even
Not you.
not
you. I ain't talking about. No, I ain't talking about you. But the people who will do that, because nobody contribute to Tuco coffers except the government.
Right.
Tuco membership don't pay no money to Tuco. Okay. If they had to pay $50 or whatever, they had to pay $100. They pay it with some kind of trepidation, even when the time come to pay it, and once a year they had to pay that. You don't expect to get it. What Tuco? Where the hell Tuco getting this money to put on this thing when they have a membership of 600 Calypsonian, and nobody are paying no dues, nobody are doing anything. Where they getting the money? You know, it's the government who pay for Tuco offices and stuff.
Mr.
The government pay for Tuco staff.
I mentioned government yet in what I just said.
I mentioning it because the reason why the NCC.
Hear what I'm saying. We have corporate Trinidad and Tobago who were called out this year, and they had an explanation for buying out, and of course Ms. Ramsey Moore had to come and explain what happened there. So what happens during the year with them? I am talking about government. What about corporate Trinidad and Tobago now?
Corporate Trinidad and Tobago you're talking about, that's just a next name for business Trinidad and Tobago. And corporate Trinidad and Tobago, business Trinidad and Tobago, looks to put their money where they get benefits for their business. If it is they see a good entity and they can put money in it because that money is going to do something. It's going to do something for their business. That's what they're going to do. Whether it's by way of advertisement or by way of people talking about them or by way of sponsoring a particular Calypsonian, a particular singer that will bring some benefit to the business, that's what they will do. Nobody is going and put any money into any business that they have no benefit to get. It's a business.
So it's all about benefits then?
Of course it's all about benefits.
Really? So then, okay, hold on.
Why do you sing? Wait, 1 minute. Why do you sing?
No, I understand
no.
that part of it.
Well, let me explain something. I, Winston Peters, sing because that's how I make my living.
Right.
That's how I live. That's what I want. So if I come and sing for you, I'm not coming and sing for you for free unless I do the charitable show for a charitable purpose. But if I come in to sing for anybody, and I'm saying that for anybody who's listening now and they want me to sing too, right? So they will know. Because too much of them just come and ask me to do this and do that for them. That is not beneficial. Unless it has, I sing for money. Because that is how I live. I live by performing. That is what I have been doing all my life. So if I go on your show to sing, I want pay. If I have a business, we have a business, we have a business here, right? And we give a lot of charity to people. Now those are different. Some orphan home want a few hampers, some hospital need something because and it's in my district or whatever they are, and they need some kind of pamper for old people or whatever. We will give them that. You are looking for nothing from that. That is what giving back to society. But these businesses have no time to give back nothing to society.
But that's my point.
Yeah, but you making money from it. You're not going to just do that.
All right. So hear me, right? Hear me. So if I selling a product that's making money for me, especially during Carnival, the banks benefit, as you said it, how much money the country makes from Carnival, right?
Yes.
Good. So you telling me that during the year, let's say Republic Bank, let's say, okay, they will adopt the North Zone. FCB adopt South Zone. Angostura adopt the East Zone. And we put money in it and we have a zonal competition, then we have a national. You telling me that's hard for them to do? They see no benefit in it because the people will come out and support that.
Well, God.
If it's properly marketed,
God,
and you know.
You're putting out that there, but the truth be told is that you're supposed to take that to your organization, who is responsible for doing those things, and see if it's an idea that your organization can follow, or your membership is willing to follow that organization. That particular
suggestion,
that particular mood of what you are talking about.
Keep
there.
people entertained during the year. Keep the Calypsonians working during the year. Because these same people benefit from the same culture that they I mean,
God, you might be seeing that. So, but these people, shareholders, are seeing nothing like that. Them seeing Carnival, yes, because when Carnival,
there's a feeding frenzy, yeah, for Carnival.
Well, whatever it is, that's what they're seeing, feeding frenzy or not. Maybe that's why they have their business. They lose during the year, but for Carnival, the only time they might make some money or more money or whatever it is, so they give back into that, into whatever. Let me tell you, nobody is in business for nothing. It's as simple as that. Nobody is in business for nothing. These same organizations must just give people things through the year, you know. They mightn't be given the same entity that they give for Carnival, but they might be given other things, just like I give people things, I do things, I help wherever I could help in my own small way, but I do. But the thing about it is that it is if these organizations, if it's not beneficial to them, they're not going to do it. They wouldn't.
That's.
I don't want to call their names.
I don't want to call their names. But what I'm saying
is that they not got.
But you know, give and take is a give and take.
You and I might be seeing it like that. These businesses have shareholders, you know, and when they have shareholders meeting, just like how two quarters have the meeting and nobody here come, right? Them shareholders just go, because them shareholders want to know how the money is being spent and how the money is being made and how they're getting it back. Mm-hmm. So they just can't go ahead and do anything that their mind tell them to do. So they just, you know, they have guidelines as well.
You know what I like to see?
CEO and they have what have you, and they have to make sure at the end of the year, the bottom line shows X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, but I still think that because to keep Calypso alive, because Calypso is only alive and well during the Carnival season. And
that is not true, though.
No. When I say on a massive, on a national scale,
it comes to a different crescendo during Carnival. But Calypso is
how do people engage with Calypso outside of Carnival?
Because we have exported more than 100 carnivals out of Trinidad and Tobago that the Calypsonians perform.
And how many Calypsonians going outside to perform?
A lot of them do.
Like who?
Well, I don't know.
Well, exactly.
I can't call names. I can't call names to you, but God.
No, but then you have no. But
what you want, that's why I talk about just now. If you're a professional amateur, you know. If you're a professional amateur, you just wait until Carnival come and depend on the thing and sing a song. You sing one song just to try to get in the finals or the semi-finals or what have you, or in a Calypso tent. And all year you weren't doing anything with Calypso. All year, right now I have to go and do my shows.
Right, that's you, Mr. Peters.
Because
but we
that
have
is
600 more Calypsonians.
Yeah, but
in
these 600 of them have to come up to a certain thing to do that. If they put themselves in a way that they will do whatever they're doing, it is going to happen. But if they want to wait now for the Calypso tent to open again, and you want to wait now until Carnival come again to write a song,
but we have a choice.
And most of the time the song that you're writing is very colloquial, because it only deals with us here, so it has no bearing on the world. Trinidad and Tobago.
You can't go and sing it anywhere else.
You want me to tell? Yeah, of course you can't.
Right, we understand
Let
that.
me tell you how I think, right? And not only now I start thinking, so I've been thinking like this for a long time. Trinidad and Tobago are 1.345 million people. I ain't sure how much people we have. But anyway, I give them up to 5. And, because all kind of people come in here every day and we ain't even know they're here. So I give them up to 1.5. And that, the world have 8 billion people.
Mm-hmm.
So why should I just make sure that I try to do things for 1.5 million people in terms of my entertainment when the world are 8 billion people?
Well, all right. So
then but it have people here who own the furthest them could see in their career. The furthest that they see in their career is Skinner Park or back to the Savannah.
Whose fault is that?
Them on?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Well, I would say them
because
on.
Here's why. And let me issue a challenge here.
You don't need to go to the Savannah or you don't need to go Skinner Park.
Mr. Peter, there is nothing else.
God, I have never written a song to enter a competition yet.
Okay, Mr. Peter.
I have never written.
But the fact is that remains the sole source of income for a lot of people.
And I am there. But the truth be told is I have never sat down and said, well, this song is I had to get in the finals or I had to get in the semi-finals.
You are one of the fortunate ones to be able to say that.
It have plenty people like that, but is it
you are part of the 1% where that is concerned.
No, it is where your trajectory is. If your trajectory is that, then that is your trajectory. If your trajectory is that you are an entertainer and you want to entertain, you want to be an entertainer, then you would sing songs and that would do that for you. And if, by the way, you happen to get to go to the Savannah, that's just more money.
Okay, Mr. Peters, but what I'm saying is...
Well, maybe you don't agree, but that's how I feel.
But what I'm saying is, what are the avenues that are there for instance, remember we used to have the Pankaiso competition long ago?
You only
Right.
talking about Trinidad.
No,
and
but yes,
first
but
you're
what
talking
I'm-
about the pan competition, then you talk about the next competition, and the next. That's why I talk about a professional amateur.
Mr.
If you
Peters.
want to be a professional amateur, that's what you're going to be.
Mr. Peters, this is the reason why we have founded and formed organizations. This is the reason why I am saying to you that if what is provided for us is the only thing that exists, then how am I to become a professional if I am just preparing for one event?
Can I ask you something?
Explain that to me.
Can I ask you something? What is preventing you, God, right now, right, from writing a song and just putting it out there? A song that you feel the public would hear, or the public would want to hear, or the public would just listen to on the radio and get. It's a song that makes you big, you know. This little boy who just sing there, right, who used to sing Young Brother, right? Young Brother's song he's going to be all over the place singing that now.
Yes.
Because the song that he is singing, right, is not colloquial in content. The song that he's singing, and he just put a song out there. What is preventing you from putting a song, or me from, say me then. What is preventing me from putting a song out there now? Just writing a
How
song.
much does it cost for him to do that? Does he have that disposable
Not only
income to produce that?
Not only that, when did it come be popular for Young Brother? When?
When it what?
When the songs that he have, The Greatest Bend Over and this one that he sang, when that became popular for him? Not during the Carnival season? It had to start
I am
somewhere.
sure that when Young Brother wrote those songs, he didn't write it to go to no Savannah. He just wrote the song.
No, because he's not part of the
All right,
calypso fraternity.
all right, but
so
he's
he
part
not-
of it now, and more than that, he is bigger part of it now than some of the people who sing in there all the time.
Correct.
Because he is going and go all over the place and sing his songs and do whatever, because he has that kind of song. But when you go in and sing songs that only has, or that is only colloquial in its content, right? Where you expect to go with that? You get out of life what you put into it. That is what you make the song for. That's why I keep telling you about professional amateur. You make your song to do that. I sing songs, God, but I don't sing any song to go to the Savannah. I sing songs. I enter the competitions. Yes, because it's a song that I'm singing. But it is not the reason. It's not the be it all for me just to go to the Savannah, writing a song to go to the Savannah. The song that I sang this year, Too Many People, you hear it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could go any part of the world and sing it. I could go anywhere right this minute and sing that song, any part of the world. You know why? Because that song, any part of the world I go, the same thing is happening. But when you go and sing a song like what you sing about my song, right? Let's take, for instance, you.
Yeah.
Let me come to you. You sing a song dissecting my song, basically, and singing about me, how I get to the Savannah.
Not
right?
you.
No.
Nah, it wasn't. I remember when I called you.
No, you call, not a problem.
Yeah, I called you and I tell you, hey, I'm going and do
And
this,
do it,
and I'm
and
using
I
your
say-
thing as
and I
part
say
of it.
fine, and I
But
say-
it was a brother.
But what I saying, even though, right?
Mhm.
Even though it's that is what I am talking about. That
No, I understand that, and I
that
did that
song
deliberately.
that song accomplished what it's designed to do, you know.
Yeah.
You make a song that's designed to go to Skinner Park and then to try to go to whatever, and it has accomplished it. But the fact remains is that after that, it come like an ice cream cone then.
I
Let
understand
me tell
what
you.
you're saying.
You have an ice cream cone, you put your ice cream in it, you eat down your ice cream, and when you finish, either throw with the cone or eat the cone. The thing about it is that if you put it in a glass cup, in a glass bowl, right? You eat the ice cream, you wash your bowl, and you put it there to put more ice cream in it some other time. So the fact is that you get out of your life what you want in it. If you're writing songs to go to the Savannah, then that's where you're aspiring to. I don't aspire to that, but I've been there and I will be there again because of the kind of song that I sing. I sing song, but I never write a song once in my life, Kat. And I've written every song you ever hear me sing. I never wrote a song once in my life to go to the Savannah. I swear to God. I go and I write my song to go and sing my song and go in the Calypso tent. When we used to have 10 albums, I made album with 7 and 8 and 9 songs every single year for years and years and years and years. Never with the intention of this one I had to go to the Savannah and I never did that, but I went to the Savannah. The fact remains that I went to the Savannah. So if you set your compass to do this, that's what you're gonna go. That's where you're gonna go.
Mr. Peters, what I'm saying, and I think I was trying to echo the sentiments of a lot of Californians who don't like to talk, who don't like to come meetings, but they talk these things, right? The thing is, if we have to become professionals, and we could either do that on our own, or if we have an organization that can chart the course or cut the road for us to do that, then it will help too. Right?
You don't
and
need,
you keep
you don't need an
engaged.
organization to do nothing.
So then why do we have...
What you need is you need to take an introspective of yourself and say, what do I want to be? Why am I doing this?
Mr. Peters, you sang
yes.
Rambam.
Yes.
Because of at a time when you were singing, you felt that because it's sharing the sentiments of your calypso.
Yes.
It's a protest calypso, just like I did this year.
Just like you did.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, of course, there was a point in time when you too were affected by what you see going on.
I was never affected.
So then, you penned an entire calypso on it?
But I sing Rambam anywhere I go. The fact remains is that I sing Rambam all over the world. I didn't make Rambam to go to no Savannah.
But that was colloquial. That was.
It is not colloquial.
Who knew what you were talking? If you sing Rambam in Germany,
everybody know what I'm talking about. As strange as that, my song.
But it's a protest song. You sang a protest song because you felt that way at the time.
That is what calypso is supposed to do, but it's not the only thing that's a calypsonian supposed to do. Listen, there are calypsonians in this place that only sing songs to get to the finals or semi-finals. That's all they do. And when they get to the semi-final, they cuss, they this, they that, they the other. And there are calypsonians who sing. Marshall was in the finals. He win the Calypso Monarch. Marshall, not the first time he was in the finals, but Marshall is the biggest artist that we have out of Trinidad and Tobago. He never had no song to go in the Savannah. I listened to Bungie win Road Mad, Bungie do whatever it is. But he wrote songs to sing. Sing songs. Whatever come out of it. But everybody watches what somebody do. A man sing a song and he get to the Savannah. So next year, you see me? I had to get this. I had to write a song like that. It's not about that. It's about singing you, about doing what you are accustomed doing. So I don't know which organization could really help us to become professional. I don't think any. They can't help you. They can't make you become professional. That professionalism depends on you and what you decide to do.
No, I understand that. But then if you decide to become part of an organization, then what is the mandate and the focus of the organization for its membership?
The mandate and the focus of the organization
it can't be just to run Carnival.
No, it wasn't at all. The mandate of TUCO, remember that I founded TUCO. I know, if anybody know what TUCO is, me. And I know what the objectives were. The objective was to look after the smaller Calypsonians, really, to make sure that nobody advantage you. But it turned out to be that one cannot be the offender and the arbiter at the same time. I wonder if you understand that. You cannot be the offender and the arbiter at the same time. You cannot be the person who, the organization that looking after my business when you offending me in the same business. I wonder if you understand that.
Meaning what? That, okay.
You can't represent
the membership.
The same person who is in charge of giving you that forward, so to speak.
Or is it that you can't be representing my interests but then competing against me at the same time?
No, it's not that. No, it's not like that. I'm talking about.
No, I'll just touching.
TUCO own all the tents in Trinidad and Tobago. Mm-hmm. It's TUCO own them via the government subvention. TUCO owned all the tent, right? Mm-hmm. So, but TUCO have to represent the same singers in the tent if something is going wrong. But the chairman of the vice president at TUCO is the chairman of the tent in song. The next thing at TUCO is the one who in charge of the tent in Port of Spain. I wonder if you understand. Mm-hmm. You can't get anything like that. Where you going with that?
You have any questions for the minister, Natasha?
Minister. Former.
The chairman,
You can
sorry.
say former minister is all right.
Former minister,
I'll
yeah.
that.
Somebody, Mr. X on YouTube is asking.
Mr. X?
Asking me, Natasha asked Gypsy about his toilet paper incident at Skinner Park.
That is something they didn't like my song and they pelt toilet paper. Or they didn't like
you
me.
know about that?
No, they didn't like me and they pelt toilet paper. And then it gave me a big song. I wrote a song called Toilet Paper that I sing all over the world. So thank them.
All right.
I'm sure if I go to the video,
Actually,
please.
they want to ask me anything, man.
The Golan voices of video B. Let's show people what we are talking about with this with Ram Bam, that song, that Kaiso that
Yes.
whole
This
most
is
of the
a
conversation.
performance by high schoolers. They have a high school band and they chose Gypsy's song to perform. So let's hear how these young people
Yeah, look at this.
video B.
One
You know, not for the first time. My song Sinking Ship, right? Is the theme song what Biden used in his election. I wonder if you know that. Did you know that?
No.
It was sung by Dexter Poindexter, who is Johansson, who just died a couple of days ago.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And that was his song. So and it's a song that I sing, but at the end of the day, that's what you sing for. You don't sing for you to be here.
Let's go to it, Shopman. Let's see what it look and sound.
You feel good when you hear your music and, you know, foreign people play your music. But in my case, it's not the first time. It's not, you know, my music has been played all over the world for a long, long, long time, God. As a matter of fact, that's the very song that I Sinking Ship, that was used as Biden theme song. I rewrote it for them, just change a few words and you know, and that's how you write songs, you know, even though you write. I use the Trinidad. I know it's about Trinidad I write, but when you look at it metaphorically. You know, I'm not going and say thing and in Trinidad once at a crime. You can't walk the street any time. You had to walk down with your hand down low, and you had to walk with a gun also. And when you go there, you see, it is plain to see that Rowley ain't doing nothing for we. Where the hell you going to that? Where you going to that? You either sing that here, and when you finish sing that here, that's it. It might appeal to a lot of things here. But you could write a song, something like that, same thing that will apply to everything all over the world.
So if I go to video C, and before we take some calls, you know, we have to keep sending messages for the people on their Dependency.
Oh, that's
with
nice,
regard
man.
to their health.
You have a good program, and I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to see that. You know,
so let's
very good.
Let's
good
educate
program.
you parents a bit this morning. They have 1 minute on vaping. Again, it's a trend that I'm seeing picking up. There are vape pens selling all over Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And we urge you, we beg you, we plead with you, please.
Don't
Papa
start.
Gyps.
And we also understand that it's just as maybe if not more addictive than cigarettes themselves. It's hard for people to stop. I mean, it's very easy to tell any drug user to just stop, but they're finding, especially with younger persons who are vaping, that it's very difficult for them to stop.
Yeah. So let's go to this video quickly. And Papa Gyps, I get 2 calls. Just
Sure, go
last
ahead.
2 days.
Yeah.
You want to know what happens when you vape? It doesn't stay a vapor. It condenses back down to its liquid form, which is this disgusting oily substance, which then coats your lungs on the inside and out. And after a little while of that and getting enough coats of it, then you get these awful, disgusting pustules all over your lungs. Ask me how I know. Ask me. I work in surgery, and so I can tell you firsthand what a vapor's lungs look like. And until you can pull out your lung and show it to me, you can't argue with that. We can open up somebody's chest cavity and immediately be able to tell if they are somebody that vapes. And this is just a couple years, just after vaping for just a couple years. We are seeing younger and younger patients that are coming in to have lung surgery, pieces of their lung removed because of vaping. People are like, oh my God, it's such a healthier alternative to smoking. The actual fuck it is. It's dangerous. Stop it.
The USA, a luxury liner, sailing the great wide sea.
Everybody's like, what is happening?
Oh, that was the extra point. That was the version.
Yeah.
Let me hear a bit of that, Tom. He played that for Biden's inauguration.
That was Biden's
campaign.
Biden's campaign song. That's how we won.
Sailing the great wide sea with a captain named Barack Obama. For 8 years, sailed smooth and free. But sadly, Obama had to go away. The ship hit rough water that day. Someone gave the bridge up to the scoundrel Donald Trump. My blood crawled, things start to fall. Hold my head as the sailors fall. Captain, the ship is sinking. Captain, these seas are rough. Rocking children up in cages, dogs whistling your racist. How low can we go? Shall we abandon ship? Or shall we sit on it and perish slow? We don't know. We don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. Whoa, whoa.
All right, 6223937. We take some of your calls this morning for if you have any for the NCC chairman. We try to extract some, but you see he's not easy to get around, and he's very, you know, sometimes you see the old people say set in your ways.
Yes.
But, you know, we hope that...
At 72, I can't help, God.
You know,
Let it be.
You know, but we hope that something can come out of this discussion, maybe give some people some food for thought, especially my membership, the members of TUCO. Don't be interested in Carnival, in the members, the organization alone when it benefits you. The organization called meetings, please come to the meetings. We beg of you. That's the only way we could make a change. Hello, good morning.
Pleasant good morning, God.
Morning. And try and make your contributions quick, please, so that others have others waiting to, right?
That great man inside there called Winston Gypsy Peters. I like all of his songs. But let me add to mention, Gypsy is a innovative, ambitious, creative, hardworking man. What Gypsy is saying there is trying to empower and empower people. Tell them that, look, hey, once you like something and you put your all into it, you won't get anywhere you want to get. Gypsy, I compliment you, my friend. I think that position that you hold is you are the most competent, reliable, capable person of holding that position. I compliment you. Gypsy is also a planter, agriculture. Man, Gypsy is an ambitious fella. Very, very ambitious person. Locked on.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Thanks for your compliments.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to the St. Clair's.
Morning.
Good morning to Gypsy.
Good morning.
Gypsy, I have more respect for you because you tell it as it is. Entertainment, as everything else, is a business. Government is involved in welfare, but private business is concerned with profit. So we can expect no private company to feel sorry for people, right? Continue to do what you do. I hope that them questioners listen to you and take it as a business to make money. It's no partner thing. I know everything, right? So good show once more. I hope that you just learn from you because you can't wait till the carnival to make a tune and hope to make it. Make tunes through the year that you could travel through the world and make a money. Good show. Right. God bless. Safe trip home.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Pleasant good morning to Garth and Natasha, my brother Gypsy. This is Glennis, just calling to say good morning, Gypsy.
Hi, Glennis. Thanks. Thanks, dear.
Yeah, but it was one thing I'm sure about. I have calypsos in my archives that can be sung anywhere, including a Latin track.
I heard it.
The thing is,
I know it.
Yeah, the thing is looking at our situation here locally, sometimes it's really difficult to navigate. See this calypso this year, it was just like when you did. So then, like Shadow, when Shadow sang "What Wrong with Me," that was a kind of take off a Shadow. What wrong with me?
I understand. I understand that. I understand, and I'm saying to you, but I'm still saying that we need to decide whether I'm a professional or whether I am a professional amateur.
Or you're doing it for a hobby.
Well, not even doing it as a hobby. Because if you're doing it as a hobby, you wouldn't even be in the final, semi-final, or anything. Because you just do it like I know calypsonians that do it for hobby, like this Doppy and them do that for the hobby. He will sing in Queen's Park thing in his own environment there and do whatever. You understand? But once you decide that this is what you're going to make a living of, God, I'm a university dropout. I leave it because of calypso. You understand? I'm a qualified pipe fitter and instrument fitter, right? That never had to do it. I did it for about 6 months with hair soil, and that was about it. Because I walked away from that and went and washed dishes for $2.50 an hour in Miami. Because I wanted to be a singer. I didn't want to be anything else. I want to be a singer. So I had to find myself in a place that I believe is more conducive to me doing what I want to do than getting myself stuck in something that I don't like and I don't want to be. I always wanted to be a singer. And it is fortunate that I am a singer. I started when I was a little boy, and I've grown into a person who make and continue to make a living out of singing. And the next thing that calypsonians do, and I try to explain to them and talk to them, but they don't hear. When they make money, the first thing they want to do is go and buy a fancy car. Or the next thing that they want to do is go and start to smoke this and smoke that and smoke the other. Use your little money that you make. No money is too small to invest. If you had to buy 10 cases of water out of your little bit of money that you make and go and sell that water, then you're going to be able to buy 20 cases and then 30 cases and then you'll be able to open a water depot. I tried to show them, like I told you, I bring Clary Ben. Clary is still there, he could tell you. I brought him to show us and to show them.
I remember the protest with us, Kaisulian supposed to run Kaisulian business and we are no businessman.
And
I remember that.
I brought them to do it. I brought them in. I was Tuco's president, but I brought them to do that, to bring a business model to these people so that they could understand that when they grow older, like I am older now, I am what you call an old Calypsonian. I'm 72 years old and I'm still performing more than these young fellas today who only making song to go down in the savannah.
Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I get you.
Yes.
Good morning to Mr. Peters and Ms. Garth and Natasha.
Good morning.
So when you talk about business and you're talking about the professional, I had my run.
That's
and I'm
Twiggy.
still relevant up to today, just like you, Gypsy.
You are Twiggy.
And you're still relevant.
And you're very relevant.
I have one of the biggest songs. I sing with all kind of people out there in New York.
Yes.
From Nashville, Bungie. I sing with everybody.
And you travel the world too.
And I travel the world. I went to Europe. I went to all the Caribbean islands.
Yes.
You understand?
I can attest to it.
You understand?
And Twiggy, you also, that's what I'm saying here. I'm trying to teach them a little business model. I remember you always doing your business,
Exactly.
Always.
So,
Let me tell you something.
I put my husband craft with my singing.
Of course.
I could sit down comfortable in a home that I own.
I'm going to expose a little thing here.
Yes.
More than 40 years ago, Twiggy sewed my shirt and stuff for me. I still have it there. I'm keeping it to put in my museum.
Very good.
I still have it. And I'm saying to you, this young lady who talking there now, right? She is a good example for Calypso to follow.
The bottom, the pants and stuff and the hat was made by me. The top was Prindella's.
Yes, my dear.
Yes,
I have no doubt.
I still do my sewing.
This is an ambitious person. When Twiggy gone from here, she going and she's singing, she performing, when she gets your money, she buy things. Let me tell you something. I'm saying one thing and I'm saying, let Trinidad and Tobago here. My dear friend who is now departed, right? Alfonso Cassell, the Arrow. When we were young boys are talking about boys now coming up, right? Arrow told me, right? We were in New York, and Arrow told me, he said, Gypsy, listen something. You see, when you sing, in them days we getting $500 and $2,000 and thing to perform, right? He said, don't carry back no $1,000 to Trinidad. Go down on 29th Street and buy some things and put it in 2 suitcases and bring it to Trinidad. And I didn't know that before. And that I did. And that's how I did that. And then we end up doing my store. We had a massive store in New York and everything because I work towards doing these things with my little bit of Calypso money that I make. And some of these Calypsonians here making the money, some of them make money, and end up with nothing because they have nobody. They're not following a professional model. They're not following a professional model. They're always talking about this one have to do and no. Nobody going to do nothing for you if you don't do it for yourself.
6223937. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello?
Yes, morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes, morning, God. You're hearing me?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, Gypsy, God, and Natasha. I would like to say, I know Gypsy for years. I was a young musician in the police band.
Yes.
And Gypsy have always given us good advice. And those same advice he say that he give to the Calypsonians and them, they didn't take it because years after I saw exactly what Gypsy was talking about. I went in a show, I was performing in a show, and I saw Calypsonians all around the place. They had a clash in the stadium, looking hungry and desperate because they didn't plan things for themselves to do it the right way. They never took good advice, and that's why that model that they're following, where it's to depend on the government, they will get nowhere with it.
Yes. Thank you, my brother.
You have to be innovative and do things that would help you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You can't depend on the government to do everything. If you're a musician, you have to put a model out there that people would want to buy.
Yes.
And this is what the Calypsonians, they used to sing a lot of calypsos against the East Indians who used to come to the tent and supported. They were the only people coming to the tent. And what happened? When the East Indians stopped coming to the tent, everything crashed. The tent ended up empty. I played in the tent this year, and there was nobody. I played in Kitchener tent. Every night it's 2 and 3 people in the audience.
Yep. My brother, thank you very much.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
My advice to all of them, still stand. And if they don't want to take it, you could only carry the horse to the pond, you know. You can't make them drink no water. So I took Arrow advice, and I see what he did, and I see what he was doing, and I continue to do what he do. And I take his advice, and I keep on doing it, and I watch him rise from nothing to everything. I watch his rise, I watch him, and I did it. And like I said before, I had the opportunity to be around all the Calypsonians and all the massive ones, talking about Kitchener, Shorty, Stalin. I mean, I've been around all of them, all. And at a very, very young age, I wasn't not even 10, good. 11,
Hello, good morning.
12, yeah.
Good morning.
Boy, I can't compliment this man, Gypsy, you know, boy. Gypsy, you have a son up in Arima, day, boy. Up in Arima here by me, boy. When you see that boy meet up in Matarita district, he living up there and things, he's an entertainer, you know, boy. That boy, he waking up he's shaking up anybody, you know. Boy, that boy like music, boy. I meet up with that man with my Quatran Maracan thing and boy, and that boy into parang into anything, you know.
Thanks.
Oh boy. Gypsy is a great man, boy.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You see that position you hold there?
Yes.
I know when you was in the UNC.
Yes.
That stigma in some of us make you sit down a little bit. But whether they put you in the country or up in town, you see you making it, you know. That's superior, you know.
I tell them I like cork. In order to keep me down, you have to stand up by yourself and hold me down.
I know it comes from the books you read, the shows you watch, the places you go, the radio stations you listen, the friends you keep. I know it comes from those energy.
Yes,
but
my
Gypsy
brother.
is a boss.
Thank you.
He's a boss. I walk taxi, I have your CDs in the car. When you see a bell shit on the stand, so I want to know where you get them kind of music, boy.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated,
very
my
much.
brother. I thank you.
Gypsy is a great man.
Thanks.
6223937. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Let me start by saying I love my country.
Happy
Boris.
Happy
Happy
birthday to ya. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Wow!
Wow, thank you, Gypsy, my friend. Thank you indeed.
My dear friend, my dear friend.
And Natasha, thank you all very much indeed.
Yes, yes.
Welcome.
Fantastic
welcome, man.
indeed, Gypsy. What you're saying, my brother, is sense.
Thanks.
What you're saying is sense. And let me say this, I might be a little, people might get a little vexed with me, but we, the members of the African community, have to turn our talents into business. It is the only way that we can go from strength to strength. Every other community is united and have goals and set up big ambition. Even as a community, we are so individualistic. But in the individualistic, that individual thing, we don't have the passion to take what we have and turn it into a business. And that's why Gypsy have decided to open my own recording label that will start from next month, in terms of trying to encourage some of our people to listen, you will hear about it, to really push us to the next level. I believe as a little grassroots from San Juan Palatovia, I can really have to make a change. And as a matter of fact, that if you want, I may decide as a businessman to come and let the TUCO president do like the prime minister, and he can turn over TUCO to me as a leader, and I will transform TUCO, my brother. People will make money as never before, because at the end of the day, we need that kind of business leadership within whatever we do. So again, Gypsy, what you're saying is sense, but we have to come together. Today on my birthday, I want to take the opportunity to wish everyone the best and to wish us all success, but we must turn our talent into business. Thanks, God. Thanks, Natasha.
Thank you very much, Avi. Thank you.
Good morning to
Thank you.
Pelham Goddard. Pelham said hello. Good morning.
Hi, PG.
And
PG.
Pompey
Hello.
Baseman says good
Yeah,
morning.
man, my friends
Yes, so-
of mine. Hi, Pompey. Hi, PG.
You know, this conversation here we can go on and on and on. The fact
That
is,
we can go on, yes.
The fact is, your message was sent this morning.
Yes.
And I hope people listened. I hope the membership paid attention. As I've always said, we cannot go forward as an organization if the members not taking part in the affairs of the organization.
I agree with you.
And I've 13 presidents come and go, call meetings, and the executive sitting there, and we hardly have a quorum to do any or make any decisions. It always turns into a general meeting.
Yes.
Because they're not coming to it. So, whatever licks they get on the car.
Whenever I come there, I try to make whatever contribution I can in terms of, by way of advice. I'm a very knowledgeable person in terms of carnivals and calypso. My specialty is calypso. I'm a singer by training, but I'm a calypsonian by choice. And I want to tell the world that I love my country, just like Harvey. And I love carnival. I will do anything to make sure my carnival is a good one. Well, I don't have to tell people how much I love calypso. I've been singing calypso since I'm 4 years old. I'm 72 years old now, and I'll continue to sing and sing until I can't sing no more. So God, all you expect to see me by all the time, because anytime they pick me, I go in.
Right.
So nobody don't tell me nothing about leave that for them and use NCC chairman. I have nothing to do with that. I'm Gypsy the Calypsonian, and everybody knows that. So I want to thank you for having me.
Papa Gyps boy, I want you to know.
Yes?
I ain't know a damn thing about extempo, but I decide I go try a thing.
Yes, sir.
Even though we didn't come here to sing. Natasha and I, really glad you came. And I am sure that you feel the same.
Yes, man.
So Papa Gyps boy, have no fear. We will invite you back again next year.
I tell you where I'm coming from. If you invite me, I am sure to come, because this is something I want you to know. Immensely, I really enjoy your show. And what I am going to say to you is the people out there enjoy it too. So I'm going to tell you this as a fact. Give me an invitation and I'm coming back.
Santi Marite. Hey folks, this was a nice conversation with the chairman of NCC. I managed to pull off an extempo boy.
And your boss, you sound very good, you very good, very good.
Well, I was practicing all uni program here. Major news up next. Thanks Tom for staying with us. Yes. And major news up next with Mr. Dale Enoch. Have a good week, folks.
Afternoon.
Be safe.